What's going on, everybody? Today we got a leg workout. For the equipment, we need a kettlebell and a bench. Starting out with some calf stretches. I always like to do these before I get into any leg exercises. Everything starts from the ground up, so if those calves aren't stretched out, then we're going to put too much stress on other areas of the body. So make sure the calves are nice and ready to go. All right, spend about 10 to 15 seconds on both sides. If at any point during this workout video you need to pause and give yourself a little extra time, that's okay. So now I'm doing a calf stretch with the back leg bent. What that's going to do is target the soleus muscle, which is the lower part of the calf, which is connected to your Achilles. Next, we got some T-spine extensions, all right? You can also have your hands against the wall. You're going to take a big exhale as you push your chest through your arms, getting that mid-back. Afterwards, I'm getting a quad stretch with the hip hinge. If you find yourself to be really tight, just grabbing your foot, just stand tall. Again, spending about 15 seconds on each side or doing 3 hip hinges, single leg, both sides. This is going to get the hip flexors and the quads going a little bit. That way we don't put too much stress on our knees. And then afterwards, we're going to do a standing figure 4. This one requires a little bit of balance. You're taking one leg, placing it above the opposite knee, and sitting down in that imaginary chair. You'll feel a good stretch running across your butt. Quick shoulder stretch, even though it's a lower body day. And then I'm going down in a deep ATG squat. All right, stretching out the hips. Again, if you find yourself to be really tight, hanging out in this bottom position, just hold. Don't feel the need to shift side to side like I'm doing. Afterwards, we got the world's greatest. A little bit more hip opening and mid-back mobility, as well as getting the shoulders going. 3 on each side. Quick down dog. And then I'm walking my feet in towards my hands, standing nice and tall, getting my mind right for today's workout. Let's get it. First exercise we have is the contralateral RFE, which stands for rear foot elevated split squat. All right, you're going to have the kettlebell in the opposite hand of the working leg. So if you have the kettlebell in your right hand, your left leg will be in front first. We're going to do 8 on one side, and then we're switching hands, doing 8 on the opposite leg. The further you are from the bench, the more glutes and hamstrings that you're working. So if you want to work more of the front side, get a little bit closer, but not too close. We don't want those knees shooting past the toes. 8 on each side. After we do 8 on each side, we'll take a quick second. All right, shake it out a little bit. And then afterwards, we're gonna be going into a glute bridge. Getting set up on the floor right now. I'm gonna be honest, I ain't one of those people that's just gonna lay right into the grass. I ain't never been one of those people, so I put a little towel down. If you're outside, don't need a towel, more power to you. If you're inside, you got clean floors, don't gotta worry about it. With the glute bridges, I have my hands extended into the air to isolate the posterior chain, the glutes and the hamstrings a little bit more. All right, as you can see, my heels are pressed into the floor as I bring the hips up and really squeeze the glutes at the top. Good squeeze. We're gonna do 10 reps here, taking our time. After this, we got a break. Break time. We're gonna take roughly 15 to 30 seconds here. If you need longer, that's perfectly fine. For this workout, you can take rest periods between sets up to 60 seconds. If you need 90 seconds, pause the video and take 90 seconds, but try keep it to a minute. Getting into the second set. I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of feeling this music. Tell me what y'all think about the music. If you have a favorite genre or certain type of songs you enjoy listening to, let me know. That way I can incorporate it into these videos and you can have an even more enjoyable experience. 8 on each side. When setting up in this rear foot elevated split squat, you can have that back foot flat or you can be on your toes. I prefer on my toes, but I will say that when you have your back foot flat, you typically get better muscle engagement in that front leg, and that is the priority in this movement. Good work, y'all. We vibing, we working, we grinding. We got glute bridges next. It's a little windy out here. Okay, I'm switching it up on you a little bit on this second set. For those of you that work with me one-on-one, y'all know how I get down. So we're gonna add some resistance to this second set, all right? If you're doing it without the kettlebell, that's perfectly fine. You wanna focus on making sure that you got the form down, that's okay. But if you wanna incorporate a little bit of resistance here, go ahead and hold that kettlebell above you. Make sure you got a nice strong grip. The last thing we need to do is to drop that on us, okay? Making sure that we're still getting those hips up, driving those heels to the floor, engaging those glutes, squeezing the butt cheeks at the top. Let's get it. 10 reps, and we're taking a break. Let's just vibe to the music a little bit. Catch your breath. Let those muscles relax. Boy, it's windy out here. Got my hair looking crazy. Hopefully wherever you're at, it's a little bit more calm. It does feel good though. It does feel good. All right, we got one last set. Last set's always the hardest. We gotta make it count. 8 on each side. Here we go. Also, if you're following along and you find yourself doing a different amount of reps than I am, that's perfectly fine. Just make sure that you're getting an even amount on both sides of each leg. So for like the glute bridges, if you do 12 reps or maybe you do 8 reps instead of the 10 reps that I did, that's perfectly fine. We all might be going at a slightly different tempo. That is okay, all right? But again, on the unilateral exercises, single leg movements for today, make sure that you're getting an even amount on both sides. I probably should have mentioned that earlier, but now you know. We're going into the next superset, the next 2 exercises. The first movement we have is the kettlebell swing. So we want to stand directly over the kettlebell, get a good hinge at the hips, and really squeeze our glutes at the top as we thrust our hips forward and swing that kettlebell up. You shouldn't feel this one much in the shoulders, all right? We're not lifting the weight up. You want to use that momentum to get that kettlebell in the air. Woo! That one always takes a little bit out of you, so we're just going to take a few seconds before we go into the next exercise, which will be the figure 8. You're going to get into a nice wide squat stance. All right, grabbing that kettlebell, and taking it through your legs. Want to keep that back flat, core engaged. We don't want the back to round, all right? If there's a little bit of bobbing up and down to help get you moving, that's okay. Make sure you got a good firm grip of that handle before you let go. All right, staying low, staying wide. Steady breathing on this one. We're going for 30 seconds here. This one always gets my heart rate up a little bit. Ooh, carefully set that down. Taking a break. Forgot I had a towel and used my shirt. Nasty work. Three, two, one, let's get it. Second set of kettlebell swings. Killed it on the first one. Let's get another really good set in. This one, it's important for that core to be engaged. We don't want that back to round. Snap those hips. Really power up. It's the same movement pattern as if you were trying to jump forward as far as you can. All right, we just got some resistance in our hands. We got a little bit of weight, but we're controlling it, not letting it control us. Just like life. Exercise and life, they really do mirror each other. A lot of things, a lot of principles and things that you would do and apply in fitness apply to life as well. Hard work, consistency, discipline. These are the key principles of being successful when trying to get to your fitness goals. These are also key principles that are going to get you to your life goals. Going back to the figure eight, showing you from the side angle now. See how that back is flat? Looks like I know how to do a little some, and then I just switched it up a little bit, changed direction on the figure eight. You don't have to do this. I just like to switch it up a little bit. All right, give myself a little bit of a challenge. But again, if this is your first time doing it, just go one direction, stick to it, focus on your breathing. All right, break time. Woo, I'm winded. You might be too a little bit. Or maybe not. Maybe this is slight work. You might have to exit out this video and go to the harder one. This is an intermediate level routine right here. Tough, 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 tough. You're doing great so far. We're about to get into this last set of kettlebell swings. All right, gonna show you at an angle. That way you can see the front side a little bit too. Really emphasizing the hinge at the hips, powering up. Big exhale at the top. Whew, whew, whew. Good work, y'all. Way to get it. 12 to 15 reps here. Nice strong squeeze of the glutes at the top. Great work. Carefully set that down. We got one more figure eight. Last 30 seconds here. And then we're getting into our final superset. Music to everyone's ears, myself included. But we got to finish strong. We got to stay locked in. All right, here we go. I'm actually going to switch it up. Face this way. Still working on these angles. Not quite an IG model. 30 seconds. Reverse. Those toes want to creep up sometimes. That's a good indicator that a person is hinging at the hips, but we do want to keep those toes flat. If you're doing this at home, it is beneficial to work out without shoes. You're able to work those stabilizer muscles in your feet a little bit more. With that being said, we are wrapping a kettlebell through our legs, so just be careful there. It's not a bad idea to have shoes on, but flat shoes for strength exercises are more oftentimes than not going to do you better. Vans, Chuck Taylors. But let me quit rambling. We have the last superset. We're going to be doing some squat jumps. I have a box, so I'm going to be doing some box jumps. If you have an elevated surface to jump on, feel free to join me on these. If you do not, that is perfectly fine. If you feel comfortable jumping on a bench, if you have one, you can do that. With that being said, you need to feel relatively confident in your box jump in order to do that safely. So just be careful. If you do not have boxes, don't have an elevated surface, just do squat jumps, all right? And I'm actually gonna show you 10 squat jumps with the box, and then I'll show you 5 squat jumps without. If you are jumping onto an elevated surface like I am, you wanna make sure you have a nice soft landing. If you're actually using a box, one fun thing that you can do, you see my water bottle there on the edge of the box? That ensures that I have a nice soft landing. I don't want that thing shaking all over the place when I land on the box, and I definitely don't want it falling. If it falls, that rep doesn't count. Okay, I'm gonna show you these squat jumps next. It's really just jumping up and down, going into a squat without jumping on anything. That's all it is. It's just jump squats. Simple as that. Soft landing. All right, using that arm swing, trying to jump as high as you can. You're gonna burn just as many calories, if not more, doing max squat jumps as you would box jumps. So don't think you're getting less of a workout because you don't have a box to jump on. All right, you're perfectly fine. And then next, we have an incline side elbow plank. All right, you can have the arm extended into the air, hand on the hip, whichever is more comfortable. Hand in the air is a little bit harder. I like to make sure that those obliques are engaged, the side of the abdomen. Trying to make sure that my head is straight. Got the wind blowing in my hair, making me look crazy. All right, we're going for 30 seconds on both sides. Any elevated surface will do the trick. You can use your couch, you can use your bed, you can use a stool. I'm using a small step-up box. If the surface you're on is a bit hard, what you can do is place a towel or a pillow underneath like I'm doing. Or maybe you're just built different and hard body, don't need any of that. That's perfectly fine too. Keeping the back straight, shoulder blades engaged. If you want to check to make sure that the side of the core is working, that's okay. It feels good to know that those muscles are working because we know we can feel that burn. We know that. All right, taking a break. Catching my breath. Grab some water if you need it. Take a moment. We got 2 more sets. And we're almost to the finish line. Oh, gotta be careful. Always make sure you're mindful of your surroundings. All right, we got this second set. Get your mind right, stay locked in. We're getting close to the end. I'm finding reasons to not do it. Look at me moving the box. The box doesn't need to move. Quit stalling, let's get it. For the squat jumps, if you're using the box, we got 10. If you're going squat jumps without, because you can go a little bit faster, I want you to get 15. Doing a tough superset like this. First exercise requires a lot of energy. Don't hesitate to take a few seconds before getting into the second movement. We do want a little bit of fatigue and carryover from the first exercise, but not so much that we can't perform the second movement correctly. Form is always the priority. So take a little bit of time, take 15, 30 seconds if you need it, and then get into the second movement. Incline side elbow plank. I keep checking that clock as if time is gonna go faster. It isn't. Just hold the position and focus on your breathing. You got this. Opposite side. Here I go stalling again. Towel doesn't need fixing. It was on there just fine. Get down there. 30 seconds. Way to go, you guys. We're almost there. Finishing strong. It's not always about how you start, but it is always about how you finish. My apologies for that last track. It was kind of weak. Think I've redeemed myself. I'm new at this DJing thing. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the tunes. Again, if you have songs or certain sounds that you enjoy listening to when you're working out, send those over to me and I'll do my best to incorporate them in the workout videos. I'm not exactly sure how some of the copyright stuff on YouTube works. Again, I am new to this. Not new to the fitness, but new to creating longer format video content for clients and, just anyone out there who wants to get in shape, wants to move like an athlete, wants to learn functional fitness, just wants to be healthier, All right, we got the last set. Stay locked in, stay focused. As that fatigue builds up, the first thing they usually go is form. You got this. 10 box jumps or 15 squat jumps. Don't forget to breathe. Last 30 seconds on each side. Steady breathing. I just realized the background might be a little confusing for some of you. Even though I'm located in Japan, there are a lot of military bases and installations here. I do have some clients that I coach on base, so that is where I'm at right now. That's why the background probably doesn't look much like Japan. If you're familiar with the military, or if you've served in the military, you know that most military bases look the same as far as the architecture goes. So I'm just here at the local Marine gym on base. Okay, the last thing we're gonna do is pick up that kettlebell and get to marching. We got 30 seconds on one side and 30 seconds on the other. I'm rotating so you can see both angles, making sure that I'm nice and tall, working that core. We don't want to be leaning to one side, nor do we want our kettlebell just resting on the side of our leg. All right, again, 30 seconds on one side, nice and tall, and then we'll do 30 seconds on the other side. I'm going to switch hands behind my back because I think I'm cool, but I don't suggest doing that unless you think you're cool too. All right, just bring that kettlebell in front of you safely, swap hands, and we're bringing the knees high, 30 seconds. Almost there. Finish strong. And then we're gonna set that carefully down. And then the last thing we're gonna do, finishing out, is an elbow plank. You can never go wrong with finishing out a good, strong workout with a little bit of core. So we're gonna go for 60 seconds, all right? If you're able to do 30 seconds, but you can't do 60, that's okay. Start with 30 seconds. And then go into a kneeling position. Finish there. Or just do 30 seconds and call it a day. That's still really good. All right, the goal each workout is to have a progressive overload of some sort. So for the elbow plank, if you go 30 seconds this week, next week when you do this, you want to go for 35 seconds, 32 seconds. All right, that way you continue to challenge your body. The key to an elbow plank is to focus on your breathing. Big inhale through the nose. Long exhale out the mouth. Time seems to slow down whenever we're holding a plank, so we want to slow down our breathing as well. But we're getting close to the end. Make sure to keep that back flat. Almost there. You got this. Fight that burn. That's it. Great job, y'all. Really good stuff. Hope you enjoyed today's workout. Have a blessed day or evening, wherever you're at.